Eamon, there's been talk among supporters that you, Brian Noble, Lee Greenwood and the club are adopting a new approach geared towards returning the Bradford Bulls to Super League, and with that ultimately a full-time squad. Obviously the current squad has players whom full-time rugby league is not an ambition and who may struggle with that added level of commitment. How do you balance the club's objectives with the needs and wants of those players?
Oh, look, I think it's just important that regardless of who we're recruiting, it's, you know, we're recruiting people to make us better long term for where we're at now. Like, no one knows where we're going to be. My job is to remain solely focused on this year and putting the best team together that I possibly can, and for next year and the year after too. So look, I'm a big believer. I've been down this path before with Newcastle. We've got a really good group and I want to keep that together. So whether that's in Super League or not, you know, there's things that we can do there to make sure that we keep the bulk of this group together. So look, I'm not looking too far ahead. We're heavily looking to invest in the playing group. That hasn't changed, but we're looking for the highest quality players that we possibly can go for within our budget. So nothing changes in that respect. I think, you know, if we were lucky enough to go up into Super League, I think blowing up the squad would be a travesty, if I'm honest with you. I don't want to do that, so we'd probably look at some things that we could do around there to keep the group together.
And I'm guessing, Eamon, there'd be no shame from any player who came to you and said that they're not comfortable or not able to adapt to any changes that were to take place.
Yeah, I think so, but that'd be more down to the work commitments more than their ambition. I think we've got a group there that would love that opportunity to do that. A lot of them have been and done it before. Some have tried and not been able to do it with their other clubs. So look, I think we're talking about the unknown here. No one knows where we're going to be. If we're able to go up into Super League, which would be fantastic, that just means there's an opportunity for players, and we probably have to look at how we structure that. Like I said, I'm more leaning towards I want to keep the group together, like we're building now for the next couple of years. We've got lads here that are contracted beyond this year, next year and the year after as well, so you know we've done that with a reason. We want to keep this group together, and you know, if we are lucky enough to go into Super League, it's about adding to it and trying not to lose too many.
After the Batley game, you were clearly angry, frustrated, disappointed. How has that review and debrief gone this week?
Yeah, disappointed more than anything. Yeah, it's a real tough one to take. You know, I think we've lost 2 games now by 1 point. What I felt we could have got done if we'd have managed those games a little bit better. So they're all lessons, but we're going to have to learn quickly. I think I didn't waste too much time doing video this week. I wanted to use that time to be out on the field and correct some things. So that's what we've done, and we move forward now. But you know, I don't want to sound like I'm repeating myself. We have to learn these lessons and learn them quick.
Do you feel that the players are aware that these poor off-day performances are hurting the momentum of the club?
Well, if they're not, they were on Tuesday when we spoke. You know, they're all smart, they're intelligent. I said to them, if we go out swinging and we do as we practice and we don't get the job done, I'm the first one to sit down with them in the change rooms, you know, put my arm around and say we'll be good. I did that when we played Wakefield. But I can't accept when we don't do as we practice and then we don't get rewarded. Like, how do we fix that? You know, if we're doing as we practice and we don't get the job done, I can look at that, can't I? So I think it's more frustrating because I know the quality of the group and I know what they can do because they've proven that a number of times this year. Going away from it is hugely frustrating.
When you mentioned obviously they've proven it, it was only the previous week's game against Sheffield where there were those effort areas that were ticking the boxes, the high standards were set.
Yeah, we've done it a number of times this year. I think that's why it magnifies when we don't do it. You know, it's clear as day to see. So, yeah, it's just important. We recognise we're on a journey as a club and as a group. But there's also many times that we can do that. Like I said, if we go out and we go out fighting hard, I'm okay. I'm all right with that. But when I look back at games and go, well, we didn't do this, we didn't do that, we did it for a period and got rewarded. You know, that's really frustrating. So. We've all got lessons to learn with that, including myself.
That not sticking to the game plan and lack of game management, that's somewhere where we have been here before this season, Eamon. You know, what can you do to try and ensure that doesn't happen again? How much onus is it actually on the playing group?
No, it's a collective, mate. We're in it together. You know, it lies with me. You know, it's I picked the team, you know, and I trust all my players. So one thing I said, although I was really frustrated at the game, you know, I want to help this group. You know, it's important that I lead us in that and, you know, show them the way that we need to go. And, you know, we're on track, but we've slightly come off a couple of times. It's about getting them back on track now. My job is to help this group, and that's what I am here. That's my job, and that's what I want to do. So my instructions are clear, you know, and that's backed up with vision. You know, I can show them plenty of times where we've done this with practice and get the reward for it. I can show them equal amount of times where I'm looking at video and I've not seen that in practice and it's not come off. So I'm more than willing for the group to take some ownership and, you know, try some new things. If we practice it and it comes off, I'm fully on board, but at the minute that's not the case.
You've never hid behind this, but there has been contributing factors. You've had to go into the loan market and bring in numerous players in numerous positions, because not for the first time, you know, you've been in double figures in some games with that injury adversity.
Yeah, we have, but it's not an excuse, because the reasons why we're not getting the result is because I feel we're not doing as we practice for long periods of time. So, you know, we can look at that if we're executing the game plan and getting our intensity right and our efforts off the ball right, and it's not working. We can look at that and go, yeah, we've had some disruption in the squad, but I can't sit here and use that as an excuse. Look, it doesn't help. You know, we've had, like you said, double figures out injured, but we've got some quality on the field there. So yeah, that I won't be using that as an excuse.
Trust is an important word, Eamon. Trust between yourself, the players and the club. Do you ultimately trust the players to learn from those games against York and then those 1-point defeats against Widnes and Batley to learn those lessons?
Yeah, because it's at the point now where we know we have to. You know, we've got things we want to achieve this year, and you know we've probably dropped 6 points this year that we shouldn't have done. That's going to have a huge contributing factor to where we finish at the end of the year. What the beauty is we're not even halfway through the season yet, so we can get back on board and you know, get some points and achieve what we want to this year. But that will always be, you know, a seed planted in our heads that we've missed a couple there. What we need to make sure is that we don't let this happen, you know, another 3 times, and you know that will be really damaging to us. So I knew when I came here this was going to be a journey, and it was about, you know, me learning about the group, them learning about me as well, and you know I knew it wasn't going to be plain sailing, but that's the reason why I took the job. It's a really exciting challenge, and one that I feel if we nail, we can have some real fun doing it, so and achieve some special things. So it was never going to be easy, but what I can't do is let it really disrupt our season.
Michael Lawrence pulled his hamstring in the build-up to that game. What's the latest with Michael?
Yeah, frustrating for Bruno, and obviously you can see we're missing. So yeah, real unfortunate one for him. He's got some news back, so he'll be out for a couple of weeks. I think the week off is going to do him some good. And one thing about Bruno is he's really diligent in what he does. So normally when he comes back, he comes back a little bit earlier, and you know, he comes back firing as well, so he'll still have an influence on us as the group, but unfortunately he'll miss a period.
And Michael's a player, as we've mentioned previously, Eamon, is the focal point of the side as the captain, a huge loss. Is it then up to the other experienced players to stand up and fill into that role, bringing that calmness to the side? Yeah,
absolutely. For me, you know, we lose Bruno, who's our captain. That should, you know, see opportunity for other people. You know, that's not about them. First and foremost, they've got to nail their job. I think that's most important. Bruno's really good because if things aren't going quite right, he'll steady the ship. But when things are going good, we see even a better version of Bruno because then he gets to nail his job. So I think the key in that is that everyone having clarity, us preparing the best we can every week, which we do. But then ultimately everyone nailing their job first before worrying about what other people are doing.
Joe Rundle left in the first half with an ankle injury. Has there been any developments on him?
No, he couldn't train on Tuesday, so we'll see where he's at tonight at training. But when I spoke to him, he said he's feeling a lot better, so we'll see where he's at.
Is it just a case of obviously if he's okay after training this evening, he'll be in contention?
No, we've got to see him training and see where he's at, so I've got some decisions to make this week.
Jaden Myers was 18th man, is he good to go?
Yeah.
George Tafua, what's the latest with George?
Yeah, George, he's looking really good, Mick. So he's had an injection in his shoulder, so that was some positive news because we were worried there they might have to have some surgery. So George is really chomping at the bit. Obviously, he's another player that we've missed. So what I want to do for George is make sure that when he's back, he's back. We don't want to rush it. So George will train tonight. We'll see where he's at, but yeah, he's chomping at the bit to get back.
Spoke to Dan Smith before the game on Sunday. I think he said he might be targeting Whitehaven. Does that sound about right?
Yeah, he's targeting probably this game down. So we have to be smart with him. It's absolutely killing him that he's not part of it. I love that about Smith. He's desperate to get out there and help this team. So. But again, he's pushed it, which is the right thing to do, and probably had a little bit of a warning there with his calf to let him know that he's not quite ready. So we'll make sure that he's when he's back at his best and he's back long term for us. So hopefully, if it's not this week, he'll be good to feature against Whitehaven.
Is he in contention for this week?
I don't know about that. Like I said, I want to be smart with Smig, because he's like Bruno. I think you can see when we was at our best, he was integral to that. So, look, if he turns around to me and says I'm good to go and he's trained, then it's more than likely that he'll be selected. But I need to make sure that he is right and he's ticked every box to make sure that he gets through the game. Because the last thing I want him to do is play for a period and then be out again.
Lee Gaskell was in the squad last week. What's the latest with Lee?
Yeah, Lee just wasn't quite there. Look, I'm having to name lads in the 21-man squad who probably aren't quite fit, just so we can name a squad at the minute, which is frustrating. But Gaskell's had now 2 weeks training with us, so he's looking good.
Is it fair to say he's in contention?
Yeah, Gaskell will be in contention, which is great. Good to have him back. Obviously, the quality of him we've missed him since round 1, so that'll be another kind of calming influence for the group.
He is secretly crossing all fingers and toes, thinking, touch wood, that adversity is finally subsiding and easing.
Oh, maybe. Like I said before, I think every team will go through it. What's to say we get these? I think there's 8 out at the minute. Back in, I dare say we'll lose a couple more. That's the nature of the beast, especially the way some of them play the game. But yeah, it'd be nice to just have a couple in there, and I'd love us to have a full complement, but I'm not too sure whether that's realistic.
It is Barrow at Bartercard on Sunday. They arrive here after a very impressive victory and performance against Featherstone at the weekend.
Yeah, a high quality team. That's one of my main messages tonight. I think in their DNA, they compete extremely hard. How they chase the ball. They seem to be the first to everything. If there's a loose ball on the floor, they've got a lot of threat throughout the team. Attack really well, will test you. I'm probably looking at us as a bit of a wounded animal and what can see us off. So, hugely important game for us to respond.
And one area that Barrow always seem to have is that sort of big, physical, muscular, tough pack. It should be quite a battle down the middle on Sunday.
Yeah, well, I'm hoping so, because I think a couple of individuals really went hard for us at weekend, but I think there's some that need to respond and want to respond as well.
And what's your overriding message to the team this week? Is it to go back to the high standard set against Sheffield?
Yeah, probably very similar to my messages that we had going into the Swinton game, and I think this is one that we've just got to perform at. I want to see a team that leaves everything out on the field, and if we do that, we'll give ourselves the best opportunity to win at weekend. I think this is going to be a real tough physical game, big challenge for us, but I'm looking to see which one of my team, the individuals there want to go out and respond.
And just finally, Eamon, you've just hot-footed it from the South Bank stand. How was the heritage lunch that you've just taken place in?
Yeah, really good. I enjoyed it. So I got up there and did a bit of a Q&A. Good to see some of the supporters and ex-players. That's important to me. I want to be involved in that. I want to meet people who are part of our club. So it was a nice evening. Afternoon. Sorry. A good one just to kind of relax and let my guard down a bit and have a bit of a laugh with them. So yeah, it was nice.